Welcome to Overlooked Pearls, a show where I test out strange ideas nobody spends their time thinking about. Today's topic, Cho'Gath APC and Zoe support. Normally in this series I only do solo champs, but this combination is just so cracked I have to talk about it. First off, why is Cho'Gath a reliable APC? His Q ability is on a very short cooldown, 6 seconds to be exact, and it has 100% AP scaling. This can hit for a stupid amount of poke in the early game, and be downright lethal as you build more items. Not to mention it is also a knock-up ability, which is a good setup for further combos. Combined with its range, Cho'Gath easily outranges most opponents in bot lane, giving him a ton of laning presence and kill potential. And as icing on the cake, Cho'Gath differs greatly from your average ADC. He has the capability to do high DPS while being very tanky, thanks to his ult giving him infinitely scaling HP. Assassins are not made to kill Godzilla, that's just a fact of life. And while he can work pretty well with other supports, Zoe's support takes Cho APC to a whole nother level. Zoe's sleep ability shreds enemy MR by 20% at level 1 and immobilizes them for the sleep duration. This is a golden setup for Cho to land his Q to knock up the enemy, further extending the CC and allowing Zoe to land her Q ability, Paddle Star. And with Glacial Augment, anyone caught by Zoe's bubble will be vulnerable to a lot of follow-up damage. This is a very potent combo that nukes the enemy for a bajillion points of damage. While it may feel uncomfortable to replace your normal source of damage from auto attacks to a knockup ability, the damage and the CC all make up for it, especially when you count the insane burst damage you can get from this bot lane comp. For Cho'Gath you want to take Arcane Comet. The reliable poke from Comet is too good to give up. Next, take Mana Flow Band to prevent mana issues, Transcendence to reduce Q cooldown, and Scorch for that extra burn in laning phase. For secondaries, take Presence of Mind because we're gonna be spamming our Q constantly, and Coup de Grace because it increases Cho'Gath's execute potential. For minor runes, go CDR, Adaptive Force, and HP. For Zoe support, you want to go Glacial Augment. The utility from Glacial and Sleep is really good for setting up engages and makes it easier to land all of Cho'Gath's skill shots. Take Hex Flash for positioning, Biscuit Delivery for early sustain, and Cosmic Insight to lower cooldowns. Next, take Mana Flow and Transcendence. We want to get those cooldowns as low as possible to spam Sleep. For minor runes, take Ability Haste, Adaptive Force, and Armor. Summoner spells are standard for this duo. Flash Heal, Flash Ignite, Flash Exhaust, all of them are alright. Just don't take Double Heal. We'll start with Cho first. His starting items are Dorn's Ring, 2 health pots, and a ward. The goal is to build Catalyst of Aeons as quickly as you can. Once you get Catalyst, your mana issues are over. Buy Boots, and then complete Rod of Ages. Then you can complete Boots with Stork Shoes to get that spicy magic pen. The next 2 items in our core build are Demonic's Embrace and Void Staff. The build path is Blighting Jewel, then finish Demonic Embrace, then complete Void Staff. And those are your core items. Cho will continually scale with more HP, Demonic will give you more AP, and you will kill more people while being tanky, which gives you more HP, and vice versa. The last 2 items are dependent on the situation. You can opt for more damage with Rabadons, Cosmic Drive for mobility, Rylai's if you want to slow them, or Horizon Focus for even more damage. If they have a lot of assassins and you feel squishy, then go for Thornmail for anti-heal and armor, Force of Nature for MR, Warmogs against heavy poke, Frozen Heart for disruption and armor, and Gargoyle's Stoneplate if you really want to be a dick to assassins. This doesn't sacrifice damage all that much and gives you survivability against assassins and divers, which increases your damage overall in the long run because you stay alive. Next up is Zoe. Start with Spell Thieves, a health pot, and a ward. Rush Night Harvester, buy Hextech Alternator first and then the other components. Build Lucidities for maximum cooldowns. The whole idea is to spam Sleep Bubble as much as possible while nuking the enemy, which is why the Night Harvester and Lucidities combo is so important. It gives Zoe enough CDR to spam Sleep and movement speed to roam around quickly. Complete the rest of the build with either Zhonya's for assassins, Shadow Flame if you're snowballing, Rabadons if you are just steamrolling the enemy, Void Staff for magic pen, Morillanomicon for anti-heal, and Ward Stone at level 13 for control wards and a stat boost. The skill upgrade path for Cho and Zoe should look like this. At level 1, Cho'Gath has one of the strongest abilities in the game, so make it count. Stay in bushes to hide the Q windup and poke the ever-loving piss out of them. You can also use it to CS safely as well, in case the enemies are hyper-aggressive. The range of Q is so far, you can even poke them under their tower safely. Zoe at level 1 should try and look for angles to sleep the enemy. Once they are sleeping, Cho'Gath can land a Q on the sleeping enemies. At level 3, continue to poke them down with the sleep knock-up combo, except this time, follow up with a Zoe missile and a Cho'Gath W. If they're really weak, further follow up with Cho's E and quickly leave to ensure a good trade. This strategy should get you a flash and some other enemy sums pretty quickly. It is especially good when their support tries to pew for the Zoe missile by body blocking, because Cho'Gath can just knock both of them up for double the damage. It's fine if Cho's Q or Zoe's missile hits the sleeping target first, because both deal great damage and the CC chain continues if Cho's Q lands. I recommend landing Cho's Q first though, to prevent them from flashing out of the combo. When you hit level 6, that's when you start to look for kills. With how much poke you've been doing with the Zoe support, the execute region for R should be very easy to achieve. If the enemy is playing safe, eat a minion to gain a stack. With this build, Cho's ult is on a 60-second cooldown at level 1, so don't hold on to it for too long or you'll delay your scaling and fall behind. Try and ask your jungler if you can eat the dragons, because it should deal more damage than any smite right now and you get a free stack. Zoe's job remains the same, except she can now do more creative sleep angles with her ult, and absolutely kablammo the enemy with her missile. Overall, poke and play safe, kill when you can, and eat anything when possible. At mid-game, you should have poked the enemy to starvation by now, and ideally destroyed their tower. Continue farming as much as you can. Getting feast stacks by joining teamfights is your main priority right now since it will determine how fast you'll scale. But for Zoe support, you want to roam as much as possible to gank mid or invade jungle. The burst damage plus the glacial augment CC will pretty much destroy any assassin or squishy mage. Think of yourself as a mobile nuke dispenser. You can leave Cho'Gath alone bot lane because thanks to Cho's wave clear and AoE, he can easily defend tower from 2 bot laners. Both of you want to be present at every dragon fight to gain feast stacks and snowball your team as best as you can. Cho'Gath is now Godzilla and Zoe is his pocket ICBM. Don't be afraid to walk in as Cho'Gath to W and E them for damage and CC so that landing your Qs will be easier. Cho is pretty tanky at this point, with enough damage to one-shot a squishy in a single combo. Zoe is also equally capable, and both of you should be enough to immediately nuke 2 targets right at the start of the fight. Contest and eat every dragon and baron possible, push with your team, and win the game. Here are the pros and cons, champion synergies, and champion counters. This combo is so good I had to try it out. Depending on future patches, this might even be a new meta for the bot lane. Nevertheless, this is my go-to pick for APCs from now on. I never did like playing ADCs anyways. If you have a friend, grab him and try this out together. It's hilarious and effective. What do you think? Would you have a different build for Cho'Gath APC? Do you think Zoe should go full damage instead? Do you prefer a different mythic on Zoe's support? Are you a GigaChat AP Cho player? Do you have your own suggestions for this series? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, so consider doing so if you're interested. I'll catch you guys later. Rock Tofu, signing off.